The Liberal Party's losing really badly.
The Liberal Party are not conservative. The Liberal Party are not a party of the centre right. Make way for the future. People like me are the future.
Drew, Advance Australia says that Max Chandler Mather has just lost a seat.
Oh, thank God.
Thank
God. Banger.
And I thanked him. No. What we doing is
Bad boy.
No.
Bad boy.
No.
Yeah, but there were things that he wanted to say tonight in this speech. It was part of the list of the priorities of the campaign.
Jordan Vanderland has conceded.
Teal Independent or Community Independent.
No, not purple fingers.
Not fingers. That's what it was. Not fingers. Purple fingers got fucking smashed. The Marxist-Leninists in the Greens Party, like the more Marxist part of the Greens Party, destroyed, like smashed, just eviscerated. Jordan Vanderland literally destroyed, deported to South Africa. I'm very sorry, you're going back to South Africa. You're going back to South Africa.
He has to go back. He has to go back. He has to go meet up with. No. He can go serve as Julius Malema's footstool.
Lucky, tell us what your thoughts are. Do you think it's a Labour majority government at this point?
Yeah, there's no way it won't be.
Thank you for supporting India against Pakistan. When we get more Indian candidates soon, we will take it. Fuck off. Oh, we've got John McGowan here. Oh, this is powerful. This is extremely powerful. John, John, you there?
Hello. Is my mic working?
Yeah. John, okay, what do you think's happening here?
The Liberal Party's losing really badly. Like, super badly. Yeah.
Like bigger
it's
than
not looking good for him. Probably about 2 to 3% primary, more than I thought.
We've got a question. Who is this long-haired homeless man? He's not homeless. He's actually he's a very infamous right-wing operative in Australian politics.
I was going to tie my hair up before I came on, but I could be fucked.
No. Yeah, tell us though. Tell us what you think is happening here.
Australians are pretty savvy. Like Australians know election campaigns, what they look like, and what a good one is. And if you don't actually run a good one, they will punish you for it, regardless of.
It was a bad campaign.
Yeah, it was just a terrible campaign, and he went into it with no policies, nothing anyone actually believed him on. You know, he didn't do anything ideological. He just read the tea leaves wrong, and he thought he was going to be able to coast in, and he hasn't. It's just backfired on him massively.
What do you reckon when it comes to Labor? Why is Labor surging? Like, what do you think explains this?
Well, just be cautious for the next hour or so.
Yeah,
because
true. Fair enough.
How much of the surge that you're seeing on the 2PP is from preference models and not from the actual preference flow.
Okay, that's fair.
If One Nation does really well, I'm already hearing guys from Tasmania are saying it's over for Bridget Archer, but One Nation's vote down in Tasmania this time is really strong, and they manned all their booths.
Really?
They didn't run that many candidates, but because that's where Hanson's daughter's running.
Campaign, right?
Yeah. So if One Nation can stay around 8-9%, I think there's some races that the Libs could be saved in. But then you look at races like Gilmore, where if they can't get Andrew Constance up there this time, they're fucked. There's no hope for them.
I mean, this is brutal. We've got a comment here. Do you think there's any chance for a coalition government still?
Yeah, 100%. 100% there's a chance.
Right.
But if you look at the confidence interval on the polls thus far, I'd say there's a 5% chance that there's a.
And what's the how would that actually work? That would require basically a massive pre-poll vote.
So, the pre-poll vote's swinging marginally to them, but just more importantly on the average, because I don't think there's going to be much demographic difference between pre-poll and polling day votes. Not like there used to be. Pre-poll votes used to really reliably cut to the Liberals because it was tended to be wealthier people, professionals, but those people don't vote Liberal anymore. So I don't really see an argument that the pre-poll is going to favour them. Postals will favour them, but most people, postals are down, pre-polls up. So the pathway to victory for them is that in certain seats, Trumpeter Patriots, the Libertarians, Rennick in Queensland, and One Nation, that their preferences cut to the Liberals at the 2019 rate not the 2022 rate that you're seeing articulated through the preference model in the polls.
Do you what's your current prediction? Do you think it will be a Labor minority government?
Oh, like right now, my prediction would be a majority. But I mean, that's why I think we're not going to see a result tonight, because I reckon what Labor will do, if they smell a majority, they're not going to want to start declaring seats tonight in case people go early. So they'll hold on until they can declare a majority tomorrow.
Actually, here's a good question for you. Who's more likely to get a Senate seat, the Libertarians or the Trump or the Patriots?
That's a really good question. Well, out of which, depending on which states, I think Rennick's most likely in Queensland, so neither. I think Craig Kelly is more likely than the Trumpets in New South Wales. If Trumpet's going to pick anything up, or has any chance of picking anything up, it's going to be WA, possibly, maybe like a wildcat 0.2 of a quota in Victoria. But yeah, I don't really see
we've got some American viewers here, and someone said, what's the One Nation party? Do you want to quickly give a brief overview of like the sort of weird, because it's like 5 separate different right-wing minor parties.
Yeah, so in just descending order of vote share. So One Nation's been around since the late 1990s, kind of like a proto.
Thank you, Caffeine Legend.
Far right party. Pauline Hanson, she must be like 75 or possibly even 80 at this point. Imagine Marine Le Pen, but without the plastic surgery. They've never really. They did really well in an election in 1998, and they've never kind of recaptured that glory, no matter how much they try to get there. The Libertarians are 2 parties. They're the old Libertarian Party, which, like all Libertarian parties, never did very well anywhere, and another party called the Liberal Democrats, which is modelled more on the Lib Dems of the UK, who did actually get a senator up one time.
Yeah, they did. That was a lucky thing. That was sort of like a Glenn Drury thing. It was kind of like a.
So they've pivoted to populism, and they're doing a little bit better now. Then Trump and the Patriots is a new party spun out of the United Australia Party, which is just a vanity project of Clive Palmer. Although this time,
you know why he did that?
With actual, it's weird, right? Because this time he actually had I think there were issues with registering it, and there may have been tax issues, and he may not have wanted to pay back some money. I don't know, but he has done a lot better this time, at least on policy, and he's also had better candidates. He hasn't had to scalp any of his candidates for being insane, which is huge.
I'm not sure about that, because there was one candidate who what was it? It was like he was caught with a cadaver bag outside a person's property at midnight, and he had like an axe in his car. like they've got some pretty crazy people.
But that's fine. That's freedom, man. Like that's. That's. I mean, how is that any worse than? I mean, the Liberals opened the campaign with a scandal where it turned out their migration services minister, his wife owns a migration agent's business. I mean, if I had to pick between
that was pretty bad.
That level of compromise or the guy with an axe and a cadaver bag, I mean, I'm probably going to go with.
The guy in the cadaver bag. Holy fuck.
So I think they've done all right. And then Freedom Party is a one-man project of Jared Rennick, who used to be a Liberal MP. Jared and another still sitting Liberal MP, Alex Antic, kind of went rogue during COVID and were like anti-vaccine, anti-lockdowns. Rennick ended up leaving the party over it, and he's been since then become quite a successful senator on his own. So he's running on his own this time.
Yes. So
lost Drew.
I'm back. So Rennick is probably the favorite of the sort of like online far right guys, right? I mean,
which probably suggests that he won't win. that's probably it's going to be hard for him.
But look, apparently he had a pretty good campaign in Queensland. In fact, I'm not sure.
Everything I've heard from the guys up there said he went really well. He did really well. So I'm kind of optimistic for him. I'm hoping he's definitely my favorite guy on the ballot. He's just smart. He's just a level of intelligence that the others don't.
Look, he is an intelligent guy, but he does have a bit of a predilection. Like he loves his conspiracies a bit. He does love his conspiracies a bit.
Yeah. I think he just steals them out of my my Twitter feed. I think
Well, okay, here's a good question, right? Like, there's so many different minor right-wing parties in Australia. What on earth is the reason why they don't consolidate? It's mainly ego,
Oh,
right?
it's just ego and personality, yeah. And you got to remember, like a lot of these guys have been in for so long, they got like bad blood going back in some cases like a decade.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, like that's a really good question, fake polo shirt. I often wonder the same thing. But the problem is that like after an election like this, I know exactly what's going to happen. These guys like me and all the other like big right wing kind of dissident voices online are going to turn around and say, "Oh, let's start a new party," and it'll be a complete failure, just like the last
50 more
4
parties.
Yeah. Just keep loading more parties into it. I've seen two new Twitter accounts start in like just the last week. Like there's a
What
new
are they?
Australian
What's their
Nationalist
thing?
Party. Like, yeah, there's a new party starting up every week, and the National Socialist Network want to do a party as well now.
Oh, fucking hell, National Socialist Network. I mean,
Mm.
what do you reckon would happen if they actually formed the party National Socialist Network? Would it be like?
Do you know what I actually reckon would happen is they're going to like mellow considerably once they realise what, because the NSDAP and NDASP, the two, because we used to have in Australia, we had 2 Nazi parties in the 1970s.
Right, like an actual Nazi party, yeah.
Yeah. So the National Socialist Party of Australia and the National Socialist Democratic Party of Australia, which is super confusing.
So it's like the Trotskyists, they had their own splits.
Yeah. Well, they were splitters, and they actually split over a series of synagogue fire bombings and a guy getting shot. Like it's a pretty interesting like history of Australian National Socialism. But anyway, they ran in the 70s, but they actually got combined about 1.5% of the vote. So they actually got well, in the 2 seats they ran in, they only had the resources to run in 2 seats, but they never ran in the Senate. So today we to repeat that project, because a lot of it at the time was just a protest vote, right? It's like kids were seeing, 18, 19-year-old voters see the Nazi party on the ballot and think it's funny to vote for them. Yeah. So, they could repeat that. The only thing I'm hearing, though, is that these guys don't want to name it the National Socialist Party. They're going to name it the White Australia Party. So I don't know if that'll do
really
as well. Considering that most right-wingers in Australia are Indians. I don't know if that's gonna. Know if that's gonna work for them.
Fucking hell. Would they be allowed by the AC to call it the White Australia Party? Do you think?
Yeah, 100% they would, because the White Australia Party was a policy of the Australian. The White Australia policy was in effect in Australia for longer than it hasn't been. So the definition of protected political speech, stresses that it has to be about a policy. Your freedom of political expression doesn't apply if you just name your party the N-slur party or whatever. Like you won't be able to get away with that. But you absolutely can refer it to a policy, no matter how controversial. I've explored in the past, like the anti-abortion party or the pro-life party has come up for the various times for the right, and that's fine. So, they can absolutely call their party the White Australia Party.
Apparently, John, Channel 7 has announced an ALP victory.
Yeah, I can see it. I've got it on.
So they've actually called it fully.
Yeah, they're insane. That's nuts.
Oh, you think that's insane to do it so early?
I think that's nuts. I'm gonna. I've got ABC on another TV, but I'm gonna give it an hour, and then when they get up to 30%.
I've seen a comment on under Dan Nolan's post where someone's like, the postal vote wonder weapon is yet to be deployed by the boom mill rifle.
Just remember, if you're still in line, they have to let you vote.
Do you think the Trump effect is part of this?
Yes. Okay. Other servers are available.
I just think the Australian voters were not resonating with Trump at all. Like I think I put a piece on the Noticer right at the beginning of the campaign where I just called it a cargo cult, and that Dutton was completely misreading what Donald Trump is. Like you can't just use the same catchphrases and rip off the same policies and somehow get the Donald Trump crown, and then this dissident wave is going to bring you into government. That's not going to happen. So I don't think it was so much that Trump.
I actually put Rennick third on my ballot out of 9 candidates. I actually put him third.
But didn't you put the Liberals second?
Yeah, I had a pretty schizo ballot. I had Jim Chalmers first, and then I had like Liberals second, and then like Rennick third, and then I put Greens last. And people were pissed off at me. So apparently Malachi's actually doing pretty well. What are your thoughts on that, John? Malachi apparently has 4% in the seat of Longman, despite not even.
I was just actually pulling it up. I wouldn't be surprised if you do okay. Like, because
what happened with you've probably done better than me when I ran at the last.
What happened with your ballots? Do they still say family first, or do they just leave you on as an independent?
They still say family first because I was disendorsed after the closure of nominations, which means I'd be on the ballot with the logo and the family first next to my name.
Yeah, you've got.
Did you?
You're above the payment, the 4% return thing. Yeah.
Oh, and do you reckon you get to keep the money, or is Lyle going to steal your money?
Hopefully I get the money.
But Payman's going to go nowhere. I mean, you can forget. She's going to be
that's true.
irrelevant. I mean, she'll probably get less votes than Malachi will nationally. So I think Labor's. Which will be really funny, actually. So someone make a note of that, because if that happens, we're going to have a lot of fun with that on Twitter tomorrow.
Do you think? Do you reckon she cracks 1% nationally? Because I think with enough Muslim voters backing her, she could crack 1% nationally.
No way.
What do you reckon happens in a seat like Wills and McNamara, John? What do you reckon?
McNamara. McNamara is going to be. McNamara is interesting because that's the one where the Greens' kind of belligerence on preferences could cost Labor the seat. But I mean, that also assumes that the Libs have got to get above a certain primary for that to happen. And if there's an across the board swing against the Liberals, that's going to be very hard for them. So you just that one you're not going to know for like an hour or so.
What happens if they call a minority and then it turns out they have a majority? Can they is that like? Are they still a majority then, or what?
Well, but so actually, you become a majority, but the issue is that you start negotiating for how you're going to form government as soon as it's called. So this happened with this actually happened with Malcolm Turnbull in 2016, where he ended up with an effective majority, but on the night he believed it was a minority, and so by just the skin of his teeth, he held on until they started doing the check counts on Monday. And then at the back of the check counts on Monday, it became clear he was going to be able to form government on his own. He just didn't return any of the phone calls from the crossbench. But, compared to like what happened that was 2016. What happened in 2013 was, Gillard declared it was going to be a minority on the night. And then we had, I think it was about 3 weeks of crossbench negotiations. If you can get a majority, you want the majority. And the other thing is if you're in that room and you're negotiating with the Greens and you're making promises, and then it turns out a week later you've got a majority, they're going to hold you to those promises.
We've got a comment by Sweden. Drew, thoughts on the Bronze Age collapse? Mate, we're watching the Australian election results, please. it's a bit autistic, but...
What's Annabelle Crabb wearing? Is that tie made of human skin?
I like this comment by Matthew Iglesias. He says, a Gen Z boss in a mini stepping on a human face forever because of the fact that Labor is winning. What do we think about the...
I think people are reading too much into it, and they're kind of projecting like American political values onto this. It's got nothing to do with that. Like, the average Australian voter isn't sitting there reading fucking Bronze Age Mindset, and he's not like putting his hands on his hips at the polling booths going, I'm voting against the Longhouse. Like, that's not how the majority of Australians think. It's how I think. It's how Malachi thinks. It's even how Drew thinks. Like, sometimes, but it's not how most Australians vote. And this is the biggest struggle for the right, and not just the online right. Is you have to understand that you don't represent mainstream views. Right? I'm open about not representing mainstream views, but we have too many guys who think that if I just get the optics right, I'm gonna 50% plus one of the vote is gonna come to me, which is bullshit. That's not how Australians think at all.
Breaking news: Anthony Albanese returned as Prime Minister. Labor wins.
Wow! Because this is like
waiting for someone to appear, possibly from the back of the
I
room.
think they're listening to you right now.
Wow! He's such a sort of bog standard bloke, and he is now in possession of the mandate of heaven.
It was neck and neck 5-6 weeks ago. Actually, not even
more,
5-6
more.
weeks ago. April 2. It was 50-50. Right?
That's
so
that's the funny thing. I thought it was going to be Dutton, a full Dutton victory. I thought for sure.
So yeah, it could be just be 3 years, but they've got a lot of work to do. Like, and the main thing is, you know what? They could have won with a better campaign. And there are so many technical things. Like, you know, we spent the last 5 weeks online just tearing the shit out of their collateral. Like how bad all their ads were, how bad the social media tiles were. There was nothing inspiring. There was nothing interesting, and they didn't go on the attack. Not once. There was no dirt unit.
I don't know why they
We
didn't.
can talk about
Why didn't they?
The gossip, I didn't start hearing gossip until about the last week when guys started talking out of school. But the dudes who were in there were telling me that they were pulling together stories and the bosses were refusing to run them because they didn't want to go negative. They didn't think they'd be able to win with a negative campaign, which is just bullshit. Like,
That's strange. It's very strange.
you attack, you don't stop attacking until the enemy's dead. Like that's how we won every campaign I ever worked on. So
That's
yeah, they're
really
gonna have
strange.
to. They're going to have a big changeover of talent, I think.
Oh wait, what the fuck? Wait, Babbitt's on Yemeni stream. Yemeni stream.
Wait, what?
Wait,
Oh, he's right. Actually, you know what? Let's tune into their stream. That'll be funny, actually. Let's tune into their stream.
What the fuck?
Let's tune into their stream. That'll actually be fucking funny. We've got
And different ideas. The old guard has to go. The Liberal Party are not conservative. The Liberal Party are not a party of the centre right. The Liberal Party are not a party that sticks by any of their own values. Make way for a new generation. Make way for the future. People like me are the future. People like me.
$50. Thank you, Lucas. Babette for both.
Yeah.
What's that?
Hi.
Hello,
I don't know.
joining.
I haven't paid attention to what's going on in the election.
Do you know who this Ralph Babette guy is? By any chance, Zach?
Yes, I know. He's the guy who likes acting like Trump, and he's worse at pretending to be an American than me.
Yeah. No, we're watching him right now, and he was saying, "I'm happy that Dutton lost his seat and stuff." Like he's like our Pierre Poilievre, right? Very entertaining. I mean, what are your thoughts on this from France, Lazak?
I didn't pay attention to this election as much as I did for the Canadian one because
I know.
it's yeah. But you know, I guess it's good that Labour is. I mean, I don't know. It's there's no Liberal Party like there is in Canada, so
It's just funny though. Like watching Babette, he's having a massive meltdown right now. Let's see what he says. Listen.
Not your saviors. They are not. They are your jailers. They are exactly the same.
Who's the guy on the right?
RVM.
Oh, that's Avi. Do you know him by any chance?
No.
He does like a lot of anti. He does like anti-Davos stuff. Like he does anti-WEF stuff, anti-Klaus Schwab stuff. He went to like Davos, He was like.
How do you spell his name?
He also beat his wife. That was an interesting.
Yeah, he threw a chopping board at as well.
Avi Yemeni. Okay, yeah, I got it.
Wow, this is like literally the biggest Labour win in our lifetimes. This is crazy. This is much bigger than 2000. I think this is a lot bigger than 2007.
The margin.
I wonder why. Is it because of the Trump stuff? You think?
It must be Trump. It surely must be Trump, right?
Yeah, he must have played a role. Although there was a terrible campaign from the coalition.
Yeah, it was an absolutely terrible campaign. But like, but still though, like this is an absolute massacre. Like I'm actually really shocked.
Will Malachi get more than the Citizens Party? I think probably.
Actually, that's a good question. Let's see where Malachi is right now. Okay, we're looking at Longman.
I just got over 3,000 votes. 3,800.
Whoa, big. Drew, that's more than you got.
Yeah,
That is what you got. I got 4,500. You're actually in one seat. You've almost got more than me. That's actually brutal.
Pretty like
2,000 votes, and he wasn't even fucking there on the day. I'm actually
this king. This guy's a king. He knows what he's doing. He was charging his laptop the whole day. What do they expect?
Yeah.
You know, and not committing like the sin of lust. You know, he's busy.
Dude, okay, here's a good question. Malachi, if you'd been in the electorate and you'd been putting out those flyers saying ban buggery, do you reckon you could have cracked 5% maybe?
Oh, 100%. I would have cracked 5%, yeah.
Wow, this is
look, look, Rum McGrath's back on the television. Will he say, like, let's wait for the free poll again? Like, hit a cocky?
Does somebody give an explanation why we call him Rum McGrath?
I mean, it's going to be me. Yeah. Look,
James,
James McGrath, God bless him, but he does love Bundaberg rum mixed with Milo. And I think was it a Facebook post or was it like a bit in the Australian about Milo ice cream and like
he did hit a cockatoo with his car and he fucking
did hit it, and that was not the most optical Facebook post.
And just like literally like the cockatoo is destroyed. And what was the other one he had? The worst one was probably the time he helped that Sri Lankan general accused with war crimes of he manages his campaign.
Bro, he's got the numbers. He's doing the numbers for him. He's got the spreadsheet.
That's an amazing actual fact about
Malachi wants to hop in.
Drew, Advance Australia says that Max Chandler Mather has just lost a seat.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God.
Banger.
Holy shit. That's like my best result of the night.
That's it. That's all I care about. I'm happy.
Christmas has come early for you, Drew.
I'm gonna coom. This is amazing. Oh my God.
Okay, that was.
That's amazing. Holy fuck.
Drew, which political party in Australia agrees with any of the policies that any of us have?
Literally no one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know my views. I know
Democratic Alliance.
Not even that. We had to moderate that. They wouldn't. The DPDA wanted you to kill Christmas, and you just said you wouldn't kill Christmas.
Half the people hate me over the Israel-Palestine stuff, like all the Uyghurs and stuff like that. So like, we kind of get the Republican Democratic Alliance supports Drew.
It's actually true multiculturalism that way.
Richard would say Hail Albanese.
Yeah, 10,000 year labor right.
What if he throws up a Roman or something?
I don't think he's gonna do an Elon Musk. I just feel like...
My heart goes out to you, Australia.
Hail Albanese, hail our people.
And I pay my respects to
the staffers do be very loud.
He's doing it. He's doing the thing.
Oh, he did it. Yeah.
He acknowledged us.
He acknowledged country. Land status acknowledged. Salute.
Yep, so true.
Elbow. This is like Mussolini.
Elbow.
It sounds like Mussolini.
C. It's like you get the C behind it.
A short time ago, I spoke with Peter Dutton, who has, of course, conceded defeat. And I thanked him. No. What we do in
Bad boy. Oh, there it is. Yep, it's on display, boys. Fuck yeah.
It's on display.
Fuck.
Wait, I got it. Where is it? Wait, can you start seeing?
Oh, Jesus.
It says my card goes out to you. My card goes out to you. Should I post it or is it too edgy?
I think it's
no.
Fine.
Post it.
No comment.
We earned our posting rights with this election. It's our right to post.
The loss of the Voice referendum was obviously devastating for Labor. You took part in the Yes campaign.
Yes.
It's left a lot of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people distressed across the country. There's
Distressed.
Another one.
They're on suicide watch, right? They're gonna kill themselves.
I mean, you've
Redo the
probably got
voice,
power in the
please.
lower house at least to legislate
Yep,
voice.
we can do it again. Oh God, yeah.
Legislate it, yes,
Something
please.
we're considering.
Another
or
voice, but
proposing.
without a referendum.
We were
That
disappointed
would be
with the outcome of
powerful.
the
That
referendum.
would be
As you know,
powerful.
you can't.
Campaign in the presentation.
Labor on track to win 88 seats.
Well, I
Holy
think every
fuck.
once in a while, there becomes a
88.
moment
Oh,
where
that's a.
Wait,
Oh,
real.
wow, that's the number.
You sort of stop
Wait,
for a moment.
actually
and
gonna
think,
be
when did it
it's
real.
become weakness
Much
to
to
be
think
kind,
about,
or
much to think
generous,
about.
or
88
inclusive,
seats.
or gracious? And
Wait,
again, I come back to the way that Anthony
Just
laid
about,
out
just
there.
about,
You know,
just about,
he's not
just about.
I'm not
They're actually
going
on
to
88
hoard power for its
No
own
way.
sake. He shares it.
I'm not
And that
thinking
makes it a
actually
very
like
enjoyable
us more than
government
80
to work
seats.
in. It's why we
But they're
respect him
literally,
so
sorry,
much.
ABC
It's
has
why
them
we're
at
proud of him
86 right now,
tonight
and there's
is
14
because
seats in doubt. So it's like, it's
he
not even,
genuinely
it
leads
actually
the
are
team.
almost at 86
You
seats.
know, and I'll.
But
Well,
there were
he
things
said
that he
it was
wanted to
88
say
seats.
tonight in this speech, which was in part to be realistic as the policy priorities of the campaign. But did it give you a sense of where a second term will now go?
He didn't reach for a
We
big
earned
ticket
our right to
announcement,
dog
which is what he
whistle.
did last
fought- we
time.
fought
I think,
hard.
on
We're not
The
even
Voice.
dog whistling. We're not even dog whistling.
I think the primary
Cool.
purpose of the speech was clearly to be an emollient
Chat,
one
disavow.
and a unifying
Disavow.
one.
We're
disavowing.
And I noticed
I
that
disavow.
he was
Holy shit,
just all
NSN
round,
just
it's
like
just a
knighted the long
disastrous
knives
result.
against them now.
And
sorry, cunt.
Run through some seats now.
It's
We'll
fucking
start
over for
in,
Joel Davis.
Sydney's North Shore
Fucking
with the seat of
hell.
Warringah, held
Jordan
by
Vanderland has
another
conceded.
Teal Independent or Community Independent. Dr.
No,
No,
not
I had
purple
my-
fingers.
Not fingers. I thought he'd win.
Not fingers. It's over. It's so over.
She's got a 2% swing to
No,
her.
guys,
and it's got a margin of
I can't run the campaign so good. I don't have 60 arguments and 5 mates. You know, it's
Can we send him back to South Africa now that he's lost?
Oh, well done, Anthony Green. We respect you. Salute to you, my friend.
GG.
Hail Anthony Green.
And the former
Hail Anthony.
Paul Keating
Hail
says
Anthony.
Anthony's made a thoughtful and earnest.
We've said a little too much hails today, but it's all right.
We're hailing progressive
Anthony Green
things.
has much to be proud
Yeah,
of.
it's gonna get clipped. Whole media which is gonna post about it.
Okay, let's look at purple pingers. In recent times, I'm increasingly reminded of Vladimir Lenin's critique of the Australian Labor Party, which he wrote in 1913. He starts out by saying that if a workers' party are in government, but the capitalist system itself is not in danger, then that party really isn't a workers' party. In summary, Lenin wrote that the ALP is represented by trade union officials, but only in a capital-serving and moderate sense, and that eventually, as Australia and the ALP moves too far in the interests of capitalism, a Labor Party that actually represents workers would arise. It's pretty funny to me seeing the Labor Party slowly turn into the Liberals right before my very eyes, just as predicted by some guy in 1913, just waiting for the actual Workers' Party. This is February 17, 2024, and what happened tonight? Purple Pingers got fucking smashed. The Marxist-Leninists in the Greens Party, like the more Marxist part of the Greens Party, destroyed, like smashed, just eviscerated. Jordan Vanderland literally destroyed, deported to South Africa. He's going like, please, Albo, don't deport me. How do I do an Afrikaner accent? He goes, please, Albo, don't deport me. And he's just fucking destroyed. He's just fucking put on the ship, straight back to South Africa, crushed. And Vladimir Lenin's going, Vladimir Lenin, 112 years ago, goes, the Labour Party is shit. The Labour Party is too weak. It doesn't represent the workers. The Soviet Union is in the dustbin of history. The Soviet Union's destroyed. It's been fucking 35 years. It's been almost 40 years since the Soviet Union fucking carked it, fucking destroyed, smashed, burnt to smithereens. And communism is dead. Marxist-Leninism is basically dead. And Lenin is dead. The Soviet Union crushed. The Bolshevik Party's fucking destroyed. Purple Pingers destroyed, deported to South Africa, loses massively. Greens, the Marxists in the Greens, fucking smashed. And there's a Labour majority government. 115 years later. Labour Party has absolutely crushed them. Labour Party has destroyed the Bolshevik Party, completely destroyed Lenin's retarded critique. And Jordan Vanderland. How do we do an Afrikaner accent, guys? It's fucking over for them, though. It's really fucking over for them, isn't it? It's just beautiful, though, isn't it? All the socialists and the Marxists are seething tonight. That's the one thing that makes me happy, right? Like, I know there are a lot of problems with the Labour Party. I know, like, they need to get better when it comes to housing and migration, all this stuff, crime. I know there's a big problem, big problems with the Labour Party. But at the end of the day, the Labour Party has just won its biggest victory in Australian electoral history. 115 years after Lenin goes, this party sucks, this party's shit, this party's too capitalist, it's not a real workers' party, bro. This fucking sucks, man. It's not a real workers' party. And guess what? Soviet Union fucking crushed, fucking destroyed, Greens on 0 seats. So that in that sense, I'm happy. As someone who's a moderate leftist, I'm so happy that there will be crying. There will be much seething and gnashing of teeth from the tankies and the communists. There'll be much seething and gnashing of teeth because the whole Bolshevik critique, the whole Lenin critique, it's been destroyed. It's been crushed. It's been crushed by history. Look at history. Who's still in power, Lenin? Your party was destroyed. The Soviet Union demolished, eviscerated.
And Labor Party just won the biggest electoral victory in Australian history. The Trots mogged, the socialist, anarchist mogged, Marxist mogged, bureaucratic, central banker, social democracy has won a grand victory. And we say, hail the central bankers, hail the social democrats. And really, you know what this is? This is Rosa Luxemburg 2.0. It's over for them. It's fucking over for them. This is another example, right? Just as the social democrats smashed the far left, as they did to Rosa Luxemburg, it's over for them. It's fucking over. What a grand victory. What a grand victory. I mean, it's not my victory at all because the Labor Party hates me and they think I'm too right-wing for them. But nevertheless, let me just say to all the tankies of the world, social democracy has won tonight. Liberalism, social democracy, central bankers, bureaucracy, technocracy. That's what fucking won over the fucking Marxist, Leninist, communist cunts. They're all over. It's all over. It's so over for Jordan van der Lem. It is the age. It is the age of liberalism and social democracy. The tankies, the Bolsheviks, the Leninist scum have been routed once again. And it's basically like the Social Democrats smashing Rosa Luxemburg. It's like that. It's like we're doing that again. Oh, hang on. I'm going to bring back. I'm going to bring back on. Chris is going to give a Africana impression.
Oh, would you like me to do his whole seething Pope?
Yes, please.
So I just got to imbibe the spirit of rugby and like having gardeners. In recent times, I'm increasingly reminded of Vladimir Lenin's critique of the Labour Party, which he wrote in 1913. He starts out by saying that if the Workers' Party are anti-government, then those are... but the capitalist system is not in danger, then a party is really not a Workers' Party at all. And they're not winning at rugby. They're not carrying the hard yards, you know. In summary, Lenin wrote that the ALP is represented by trade union officials, but only in the capital-serving and the moderate sense. And that eventually, as Australia and the Gold Coast especially, where all the best South Africans live, and moderate sense, and that capitalism, Labour Party actually represents the workers would arrive, but not the gardeners and definitely not the maids. You know, very important. And as long as some of them are good at rugby, that's okay too. It's pretty funny to me seeing the Labour Party slowly turn into the Liberals right before my eyes, right before them, just as predicted by some guy in 1913. Just waiting for that actual Workers' Party to come and deliver me what I had in South Africa in 1993, where the gardens were nice and I could go outside at night.
Fucking hell.
But look, I would repudiate this notion that Rosa Luxemburg didn't die in a ditch like she deserved. I would say actually she was reborn. She was reborn. You know, she lived on in the form of both and Ian Smith. You know, very important. She was reborn, and she lived out the rest of her days in Rhodesia, where she encourages the Zanla terrorists to lose fight after fight and just get slaughtered. Much like her comrades in Germany, if you really think about it. So she lived on.
And then Albanese comes in and just goes, "Sorry, Jordan, I'm very sorry. You're going back to South Africa. You're going back to South Africa."
He has to go back. Look, he has to go back. Look, he has to go meet up with. No. He can go serve as Julius Malema's footstool.
Yeah, he can join the EFF.
No, because they share common interests. They both love stealing property and land.
What can you do? Purple Fingers, it's over, isn't it?
Well, no, it's fine. I'm sure that he'll find some other Melbourne garage party to sidle up in. I don't know, maybe inappropriately sit next to some girls who've just come out of high school. I don't know. Who knows? Many saying, I heard
going back
this.
to-
I
He's
heard
going back to
this.
South Africa. He's going back to South Africa. I'm saying
He
that.
might.
and,
He might.
and he has reparations to pay to the people of South Africa because his family benefited from apartheid for a long time, and he has reparations to pay. And we just tell him, it's time to go back and pay that debt. And thank you, Jordan Vendelem. Well done, Purple Fingers. Well done. Lenin has won yet again. That's a good way to sign it off, guys. That's a good way to sign off. Thank you to everybody who watched it. We had a great stream today. And we're gonna do some great clips and we're gonna post it up. And let's just say, great victory for the anti-tanky forces. Absolutely. Salute, guys. Thank you so much. Infinite victory.